up? And joining us today is none other. I like to, when I describe her to my friends, when I try to introduce them to her music, I would say like she is a total vibe. And after meeting her off air, man, I can tell you guys right now that she definitely is one hell of a vibe. So you know what? Without further ado, let us welcome Denny. Hi, Denny. How
Yo,
are
what's up?
you?
Good morning. Is it still morning? Nah, it's afternoon. Good afternoon.
How are
Yeah,
you, Denny?
good. Very, very good. Thank you. It's an honor to be invited here. Salamat.
And it's
Salamat,
an
Miss
honor
Ria.
to have you here. It's really an honor. So, if you guys don't know, we're here to talk to Denny. We're live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch at RX931. And we are talking about, you know what, before we get to your song that we are going to be playing later, why don't we talk about
Mhm.
how you got started with music first?
With music, I started really young. So, 2 years old pa lang ako. That was the time na mahilig pa tayo makinig ng radio. I think that was 2002. Yeah, mahilig pa tayo talaga makinig ng radio nun. So, yung family ko din kasi, they love music, especially my dad since he's
Uh-huh.
also an amateur singer and a songwriter. So, nung bata ako, naririnig ko yung mga songs from the radio. I think specifically the song Itsumo by Dyson K9.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, sobrang catchy kasi ng hook niya. So, kahit di ko siya naiintindihan, well, to be fair, Japanese yung, yung hook niya.
Yeah.
Ginagaya ko yung melodies niya when I was young, and I think that's when my dad saw the potential that I could sing. So, from there, tinuruan niya na ako ng mga songs niya, tinuruan niya na rin ako everything he knows about music and singing. And then, ayun, I just practically grew up practicing what I love doing most. So,
Okay, so
yeah.
you mentioned earlier, right, Denny, that you started out with the songs from that are pop in
Mm-hmm.
genre, but your genre now is so different, naging
Yeah.
R&B siya, hip hop. So how did you find your style in music?
Mm-hmm. It was around high school or senior high school, basta around that time. This was maybe 2015 to 2018. I had friends na mahilig makinig sa hip-hop, mahilig makinig sa R&B, tapos nagre-recommend sila sa akin ng songs. And then, dun ko na-realize na parang, ito pala yung vibe na bagay sa akin or ito yung vibe na gusto kong makuha when I get to write my own songs. Pero at that time kasi hindi pa ako marunong magsulat ng kanta or I thought hindi ako marunong
Mhm.
magsulat ng kanta. So, nangangarap-ngarap lang ako na if ever I get to make my own music, ito yung gusto kong sound, ganito. And
Yeah.
also, at that time kasi, yun din yung nahihilig ako sa BTS. And
Oh my gosh, same.
yeah, yeah.
I love it. Okay.
I
All
became
right.
an army around 2015, yung as in full-on army na talaga.
Uh-huh.
Tapos, eh, di ba they released Hwayang Yeonhwa that time, The Most Beautiful Moment in Life. And then yung album na yun kasi parang focused on R&B and hip-hop siya eh. So, parang siguro yun yung pinaka nagpa-realize sa akin or dun ko pinaka na-love yung genre. So, after that, dun ko na develop yung own style ko, and then when I got the chance to write my own music, ayan na, ginawa ko na siyang R&B talaga.
That's beautiful. And look, Alexa over here on Facebook says Denny is the her Alicia Keys or Beyonce of the Philippines.
Wow,
So
big names.
yes, big
Thank
names
you.
and hope, and I really believe that one day you are gonna become as big as them. But I'd like to know, since we did mention these people, who would you say would be the biggest influence, or yeah, which artist would have the biggest influence with you? Like, who do you think would inspire you in terms of the style of your music, besides, of course, BTS?
Mhm. Right now, I'm listening mostly to Doja Cat and Kehlani. And funny story, when I released my first two singles, those were independent. It was Weakness and Deserve It. I had a lot of comments that said I sounded or my vibe was a little like Kehlani's. So, pinakinggan ko yung music niya. Sabi ko, "Oo nga 'no, may similarities sa'min." Tapos
Uh-huh.
after that, tsaka ako nagustuhan yung music niya. So, nakakatawa kasi may similarities na kami before ko pa siya mapakinggan, and then tsaka ko siya naging favorite because of the comments of some people. So,
That's
ayun.
amazing.
Mhm.
Because usually people get their inspiration from artists that they already
Mhm.
know, but you're saying na hindi mo pa siya kilala at the
Hindi
time,
pa.
so that's
Mm.
talagang nagkaano lang, parang nagkaswak lang basically
Yeah,
your
yes.
styles and music. That's amazing. uh Actually, earlier you were mentioning that you were actually part of a band. Why don't you tell us about
Mhm.
how you came up with that first single? That's a very interesting story that I
Mm.
think our listeners would love to hear about.
And so before kasi I as I mentioned earlier, I didn't know that I could write my own song, so I mostly did covers lang. And then back in 2019, uh one of my friends, the rapper Because, yeah,
Amazing.
he invited me to be his guitarist when he played live gigs. So ako yung nagigitara para sa kanya when may concert siya or may gig siya. Tapos sabi niya sa akin, "Kaya mo magsulat ng sarili mong music, eh, ba't di mo i-try?" Tapos sabi ko sa kanya, "Eh, di
Mhm.
ako marunong magsulat, di ako marunong magsulat." Tapos
Mhm.
sabi niya, "Sige, gagawin kita ng beat." Tapos sinend niya sa akin after a few weeks, yun. Tapos dun na medyo na-pressure na ako na parang ginawan ako ng beat ng tao, so I have to give justice to what he did.
Right.
So, that time kasi nagwo-work pa ako. I had a 9 to 5 work. So,
Mhm.
when commuting and going home from work, dun ko sinusulat yung song. Dun ako nag-a-attempt. Tapos ko siya, I think after 2 or 3 months, ganon. Tapos medyo na-satisfy naman ako. Tapos pinarinig ko na sa kanya. Tapos nung narinig niya, natuwa naman siya. So sabi ko,
Uh-huh.
okay, kaya ko naman pala magsulat ng music. I just needed the little push, the little pressure na binigay niya sa akin. So thankful
Right.
ako na, ayun, pinressure niya ako.
That's amazing. I mean, you have a friend. Your best friend is Because,
Mhm.
and you're really surrounded. Your dad is into music. You're really
Mhm.
surrounded by people who are very well versed when it comes to music. So it's amazing that you also ended up, in the world of music. But what
Mhm.
makes me curious is what you said, right? Sinabi mo na you used to write your songs on the commute home.
Mhm.
And I'm curious because usually artists like to find their own space when they're writing, usually, right? But
Mhm.
how
Mhm.
did you find your inspiration? Let's talk about that first song. It was called Weakness, am I correct?
Yeah, yeah.
It was called
Yes.
Weakness. So, what was the song about and how did you write it on your commutes home?
Uh, Funny kasi 'pag nagwo-work ka like regular work hours, parang hindi ka na masyadong makakahanap ng time for yourself. So,
Mhm.
sa day off parang gusto mo matulog ka na lang, mag-rest ka na. So, yung time lang talaga na meron sa'kin was that specific time, yung commute ko and going home from work. So, I had no choice basically kahit gusto kong, magsulat in a quiet space. So, ang ginagawa ko na lang nag-e-earphones ako and then I
Mhm.
write on my notes sa phone. Tapos yung inspiration ng song, it's just a general idea. Like, ang
Mhm.
pumasok lang sa'kin kasi, ah, parang yung mga tao sobrang sobrang rupok nila when it comes to love and siyempre lahat naman tayo I think na na-experience
Mhm.
na natin yung ganong feeling.
Of
So,
course.
I wrote the song na parang kahit marupok tayo, we still should choose like ourselves first. Kahit pwede natin maging newfound weakness itong one person na 'to na minamatahan natin. Like, we
Uh-huh.
should not forget to like think of ourselves first. Kahit na yung first line kasi nung hook nun is, "I like the way that you make me feel, pero pwede bang sabihan mo ko when everything is real?" So parang,
Oh my god.
yeah.
I'm gonna take a moment to take that in. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Okay, carry on, carry on.
Ayan, thank you. So, parang kahit na gusto natin yung feeling na binibigay sa atin ng tao, parang, we still have the right to like demand transparency,
Mhm.
demand the truth from the person. So, para sa well-being din natin. So, yeah, dun umiikot yung buong kanta.
That's beautiful. I love that. That
Thank
was
you.
amazing. And you know what? I noticed from your songs too. It's not only the song that we're gonna be playing right now, but
Mhm.
even that song, "Weakness," that you just mentioned, the lyrics are Taglish.
Ah, yeah.
And people, you when artists write music, it's not so common that they mix
Mhm.
two languages in one singular song. So what
Mhm.
made you decide to do it like this?
Ayun. So, nung sinusulat ko kasi yung weakness, I was thinking for myself kung ano yung magiging better sa akin when it comes to writing my own music since first time ko nga siya na ita-try. Ang inisip ko, I want my music to be Tagalog since
Mhm.
kasi nga, it's our own language and iba yung impact like kapag nakapagsulat ka ng full Filipino song
Mhm.
ng maganda siya and it sounds flowy lang, gano'n.
Right.
Tapos medyo nagkaroon ako ng conflict kasi like in everyday conversations hindi naman tayo nagsasalita lang ng full Tagalog, eh.
Mhm.
So meron pa rin tayong mga phrases in English, meron tayong mga words na pasundot-sundot na English. So I wanted the song to sound, very conversational. Gusto ko natural sounding siya. So I decided na, "Okey sige gawin na lang natin Taglish, bahala na kung ano yung maging sound." And fortunately, nag-work naman siya and nag-mesh well together siya. So very lucky and very happy ako sa kinalabasan nung output.
It really did. And I think that it's so unique to you because almost all your songs are Taglish, and the way that
Yes.
you stitch them together, I'm gonna refer to your song Gusto Widya. Like who
Mhm.
thinks of that? Like it's amazing. I really am a huge fan of your music, and I think it's amazing how you were able to stitch two languages together, making it more accessible and relatable to more kinds of people also.
Yes.
Um I would like to ask you before we get to your song, if you had any dream collaborations, like is there anyone, if there was anyone in the entire world that you could malay mo, this is your call to the void. Maybe
Mhm.
this is your
Baka
chance
naman.
to who would you want to collaborate with?
It has to be BTS. It has to be BTS. Really, really, it has to be BTS. Kasi I have been watching them like since their debut. So that's 2013. I was just 13 years old. So parang I feel like I grew up with them and they're really a big part of me not only as a musician but also as a person kasi ang laki ng influence na ang laki 'di ba? 'Di ba, ang laki ng influence na nagbigay nila sa akin and they're like really good people, not only good artists but also objectively good people kasi they use their big platform for good causes. So isa din 'yan sa reasons kung bakit isa sila sa mga biggest na hinahangaan ko. So I think I want to be able to thank them personally and get to know them personally. So sana naman, 'di ba?
I'm not
Pwede.
even doubting it. I am telling you, you are gonna be able to do that. Just please make sure to introduce me to Taeyang.
Sure, sure, why not, 'di ba?
Okay, you know what? Since we are on the topic of BTS already, why not ask you who is your bias
Hirap, wait lang.
at the
Eto,
moment?
eto
Okay.
nakakatawa. Papalit-palit kasi ako before nung pinakauna, si RM yung first ko
Okay.
na notice because of his rapping skills.
Mhm.
Tapos binayas work ako ni Jimin and then nung War of Hormone na, naging si V. After ni V, ngayon naman si Jungkook. So I don't
Okay.
know, OT7, basically OT7.
Yeah. True. Agreed. All right.
I'm gonna
Well,
I'm gonna show you something. Look at
oh my
this.
god. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm just a new army, so seeing
Oh,
how
okay.
passionate you are about this, I just love it. But anyway, let's go back. Let's get back to you. Let's stop talking about BTS for a moment. I can DM you about that all day. But y- just like BTS, you actually can dance also. So why don't you tell us about your you were talking about your latest song earlier, so why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I just released my newest single entitled Like Me last October 1. So this song is a dance track. It was produced by Next Friday. Well, y'all know it's next Friday. And as a dance track kasi gusto ko talaga fully choreographed din yung song. So I challenged myself like to include it in the music video and fortunately we did it. So if you guys want to check it out, you can search up Like Me, you can see the music video. So may sayaw yung buong kanta. Sana magustuhan niyo. Yeah.
Oh my God, amazing. And of course, before we get to all your socials where they can find you, let's talk about the song that we will be playing. Gusto
Yeah.
with ya. Okay, so tell us about the song. What inspired you to write this song? What is the story behind this song?
The story behind the song. So yung gusto with Dia kasi I started writing this in the middle of the pandemic. So I just released my first two singles last March 2020. And then ayun na, boom, nag-hit na yung pandemic. So I wasn't able to really play in gigs kahit nagkaroon ako ng mga invitation. Syempre hindi siya natuloy kasi nag-lockdown tayo, ganun. So I was really frustrated kasi hindi ako marunong mag-produce like ng beats, ganun. So hinaram ko yung old laptop ni ate. I just thought I had to do something. I just thought
Mhm.
I had to write something. So gumawa ako ng pangit na beat sa laptop ng ate ko. Pagkatapos nag-isip ako ng topic, parang sabi ko, ano bang gusto kong isulat na kanta ngayon? Tapos ang una kong naisip, kasi yung unang line na pumasok sa isip ko was the first line of the hook, which was, I know I'm independent but I think I need ya. Kaya mag-isa pero mas gusto with ya. So ako kasi as a person, I don't depend on like significant others or other
Mhm.
people to like fill in my happiness, ganun. Parang okay ako ng mag-isa, kaya ko na mag-isa. Pero minsan kasi sa buhay natin parang yung presence ng ibang tao, they make the experience better.
Mhm.
They make the vibe better. So parang yun yung dun umikot yung theme nung kanta na parang kahit kaya ko mag-isa, mas gusto ko nakasama ka, gano'n.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. Was this based on a true to life experience? Were you writing this with somebody in mind?
Not exactly somebody in mind, pero like in general lang kasi,
Okay.
uh, I think me kasi yun nga, as I said, I'm an independent person when it comes to like my own happiness. So parang naisip ko din siya, puwede rin kasi siya sa friends, eh, like parang kahit kaya
That's
ko
true.
mag-isa mas gusto ko kasama kayo. So, it's a general idea na puwede siya sa friends, puwede siya sa significant other, gano'n. So, ayun, hindi ko rin alam kung bakit pero yun yung unang line talaga na pumasok lang sa isip ko when I was thinking of making another song.
Well, it is beautiful and very, very catchy, I have to say. And of course, now that I hear, the story behind it, it becomes even more relatable to a
Mm.
wider audience as well. So if you guys
Yes.
haven't heard the song, you are going to hear it in a little bit. But before we get to that, Denny, why don't you tell us what is next for you? What is next for you? What songs are you going to be dropping any new songs? And of course, where can they follow you online?
As of now, since I just released my latest single, I think wala pa tayong i-release uli like anytime soon. Pero by early next year for sure magkakaroon tayo ng new songs. And also pala, I just have to plug, we have a show coming on November 27. It's called The Arrival, directed by Paolo Valenciano. So you guys can avail your tickets at ktx.ph. Marami tayong kasamang magagaling na artists. We have Because, we have Alamat, we have Lit, we have Claudia Barreto, and Magnus Haven. So iba-iba tayong genre pero pinagsama-sama tayo sa isang concert. So if you guys wanna check it out, search nyo lang The Arrival. You can avail tickets at KTX. So see you guys there. And as for my social media accounts, I only have one handle. It's at it's Denny PH. So it's DENYPH. You can follow me on TikTok, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. So you can see any updates and we can talk. Yeah,
All
thank you.
right. So make sure to follow her, guys. It's Denny PH. Okay, guys. It's Denny PH on all social media platforms. And of course, before we say goodbye here and play your song, is there anything that you want to tell all your fans? A lot of them watching right now.
Sa mga fans ko, tsaka sa mga listeners, wow, parang ngayon ko lang sinabi yung word na fans.
I love it. You
Thank
have
you.
many.
Thank you so much for listening to my music, and I hope na nakakatulong siya sa inyo like kahit a little bit. And hindi ko in-expect na ganitong reception yung makukuha ko, like all good comments and nakakatuwang mga feedback lagi nakukuha ko. So, maraming salamat sa inyo sa pakikinig and maraming salamat sa pagsuporta. Sana hindi kayo magsawa and sana samahan niyo pa ako sa journey ko na 'to. And may nakita pala akong comment, shoutout kay Ivan. Maraming salamat sa panonood, shoutout sa inyong lahat. Sana makita ko kayo soon.
That's amazing. Denny, it was a pleasure to have you here. It was such an honor to have you. And I
Pleasure.
am going to count on that BTS Denny collab. I am
Yes,
counting on it.
soon.
It's gonna happen. Manifest it. I'm so excited for you and for all the songs that you are gonna be putting out in the future. I'm so excited for you. And guys, don't forget once again to follow her on all her socials to stay updated. It's called her socials are at it's Denny PH. But right now, it is time for us to get to the music. Oh yeah, time for us to play the song that you've all been waiting for. Here's Denny with a track called Gusto With Ya right here on the Monster.
Yeah, yeah. Way better. I know I'm independent, but I think I need ya. Kayang mag-isa pero mas gusto with ya. Parang mababaliw and I don't get to see ya. Sana'y nang di umasa, parang gusto with ya. I'm independent, but I think I need ya. Kayang mag-isa pero mas gusto with ya. Parang mababaliw and I don't get to see ya. Sana'y nang di umasa, parang gusto with ya. Is ya. Oh, di maintindihan. It's hard to learn your language, baby. Only now I'm on naman. Turn it from 240 to 1080. Pagdadalawang isip ko ay nag 180. Yeah. Gusto ka lang makasama kahit na abot umaga. Di mawawala ng gana. Ikaw lang ang nakikita. My definition of vision. No, I ain't into submission, but that can still be a mission. Forgetting all of my cautions, but I think I need ya. Kayang mag-isa pero